like, and subscribe. You know, back in the days of Joshua, you have to understand something. It's something I have to understand is that Joshua had, out of the multitude of people that Joshua talked to, he only had 82 disciples. 82 disciples out of the multitude of people he talked to and healed. All he had was 82 disciples. And he talked to them in parables. And it seems nowadays that not much has changed today. People still will read the Bible and won't follow the words in the Bible. And I'm going to say this. People read the whole Bible and be talking this and talking that, but I'm going to tell you something. Read Matthew's, Mark, and John. Concentrate on those 4 chapters because those are the words of Jesus. Those are words of Jesus with instructions. Follow Matthew's, Mark, Luke, and John. And when you read it, do what is asked. Do what is told. Follow the 10 Commandments. Follow the proper diet. Stay away from homosexual activity, sexual perversions. That's the beginning. And understand this. Buddha was a black man. And what Buddhism is about is the mortal development of the body. It's about the mortal development of the body. It is about taking control of your body and controlling your desires. That's what Buddhism is. It's about controlling your desires. Then when you get into then you have to get into Hermetic philosophy. Hermetic philosophy is the science of spirituality. It is the science of spirituality. Spirituality is a science. It is a metaphysical science. And it takes a person with that really wants to learn, who really wants to know, to understand that. You can't just, because the Bible is Hebrew Israelite history. It is Hebrew Israelite history. And Hermetic philosophy is the science of spirituality. Spirituality is a science. Anything, you can't separate spirituality from science. It's impossible. You can't separate them. They're the same thing. They're the same thing. You can't separate spirituality from science. But science is of a metaphysical, is more of a, can be, once you understand science, you have to understand the metaphysics of science. That's what spirituality is. It's the metaphysical part of science that takes you beyond the physical world. And that's what I've been trying to explain. And like I said, Jesus, he only had 82 disciples back in those days. So for me to expect to have many more than 82 is kind of ridiculous. If I only had 82 back then how many more then I would be lucky to have, because there's more people in the world, I would be lucky to have maybe 8,000. That would be pushing it because there are more people in the world. Joshua would be lucky to have 8,000 people because there are more people in the world. So for a fact, I can't expect to have thousands and thousands of followers because I'm trying to educate people. So the idea that I'm gonna have thousands and thousands of followers, I just got to get that out my mind. But what I want to do is teach people how to protect themselves. Wake up the spirit within you and protect yourself. That's what I'm giving you instructions to do. As for and then another reason why we shouldn't be, stay out of white folks' business. Stay out of their business because it don't concern us. This stuff about Charlie Kirk, it's none of our business. That's their infight. That's their infight. Then you got the tokens. Then you got a couple of tokens in there like Candace. She's a token, so stay out of that. Don't none of that concern. None of that concerns us. I mean, that is their infighting. That is their infighting, and it doesn't concern us. Why would we get in the middle of that? That's their thing. Leave it alone and worry about saving ourselves. Not that we're in any trouble anyway, because we weren't getting the subsidies and the welfare that they were getting. And then we get into this fool around and find out thing. Well, black women have fooled around and found out themselves. By separating themselves from black men, they have fooled around and found out because they were treated the same way Caucasians were treated, because they said, I don't need a man. And the reason why they felt that they didn't need a man, because they became dependent upon the government. And just like the government pulled the sheep from underneath Caucasian farmers, he pulled the sheep from underneath black women, feminists, who should have been fighting for their civil rights. They fighting for feminism. And doesn't even make sense to fight for feminism when you don't even have your civil rights. What are you doing? And the foundation of the black community is the black man, protector and provider. And that's what we've been doing. Then all of a sudden, I can understand white women, because the only thing they wanted was the same welfare that white men were getting. But black women, they done fooled around and found out, so they can stop talking about the farmers altogether. They can just stop it. But understand this. We don't have to worry about a thing. All we have to do is sit back and wait and let the Caucasians fight each other. Sit back, wait, and educate ourselves. Read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John of the New Testament. Read that. Once you read that. Then start reading Hermetic philosophy. But before you do all of that, follow the 10 Commandments. Eat in accordance with the Bible said. Stay away from homosexual activities. And another thing I want to say, people of African heritage, we are closer today than we've ever been since slavery. We are closer today. So don't let nobody tell you that we're not, because we are united over the internet now. You will see a lot of African internet, whatever you call it, people who make content. You'll find a lot of African content creators. They're talking about African American, and they're learning from us. They're learning their history from us. A lot of us are now moving to Africa. And see, one of the things we need to do is separate ourselves from Caucasians. Separate ourselves from them. Because all we're doing is feeding them information and intelligence, and then they're using it against us. As the United States declines, Africa is rising. Food is becoming more and more expensive in the United States, and it's becoming cheaper in Africa. And a lot of the things that I'm explaining, I'm basically explaining to you the same things that I explained 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I told you that America uses but America was using sanctions as a form of offense to hold countries down. And now Trump has doubled down on that because now he's trying to use sanctions and tariffs, which is a big mistake because sanctions and tariffs basically the same thing. All you're doing is stopping yourself from getting the goods that you need with tariffs at a higher price. But also what you're doing is you're making third world countries dependent upon yourself because America was using the dollar as the middleman. You want to buy something, you got to exchange your money for American money, and then you can buy the goods and services you want from another country with American money. Well, now they done bypassed all that. They are trading directly. Countries in South American countries are trading with African countries, and they're trading with Asian countries, and they're trading with Russia, and they're not using the American dollar, so everything is cheaper because they don't have to worry about America charging for their service. So everything is cheaper for them. But black people, stay out of white folks' business. Because the beautiful thing about Trump is that he's such a racist to where all the nonsense that America is doing overseas, we are not getting blamed for it. And countries like China, Asia, Mexico, Venezuela, all the countries in South America are waking up to what Caucasians have been doing to them. And we're not included, and we are considered a victim or a subculture of America. So we can travel to Africa because we're African, and we can do business with Africa now. That's another reason why we will be the savior of the United States of America, because we have carte blanche in Africa because we are African. And those people who call themselves Black Americans are ridiculous. But they're in the minority anyway. And you're always going to have some sellouts, so that's no big deal. But anyway, to make a long story short, because I want to teach people how to evolve spiritually, to come back to spirituality. So I explain, and it seems like every time I do this, I got to explain the same thing because I don't know who's listening. Eventually, what I'm going to do is start a synagogue and educate black people. Whether I do it here or whether I do it in Africa, I don't know right now. I can tell you one thing is that you won't have to pay tithes. And you won't have to, and I'll take care, and I won't be asking you for money to do anything because God will handle that. And if you're talking to a spiritual, I'm gonna tell you this: if you're really talking to a spiritual person, they're not gonna ask you for money because because money will come to us. Money comes to us anyway. But anyway, like and subscribe. Try and study my videos, and like I say, my videos aren't for the masses. They're for the spiritual intellectuals, the people who are searching for truth. So only had 80 something. Well, Yahshua only had 80 something disciples back in the day, and so for me to expect, I guess maybe there's more people in the world. Who knows? Who knows? But the only thing I can do is teach those who want to learn, educate those who want to learn, or should I say point them in the right direction. But understand one thing that Yahshua told you over and over and over again is that I am not God. He is not God. He is the Son of Man. Meaning that if you put the study in, you can have the same powers of Yahshua if you put the studies in. And once you put the study in and things like that, then God will tell you to go on a long fast. And that fast is an initiation. And once you become an immortal mortal, you are called an initiate. So like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later when I have something to say. But what we're going through right now, I explained. I explained why the United States was going to lose in Ukraine, that Israel was going to be surrounded and lose. One of the reasons why the United States couldn't win, because of 800 bases spread all over the world. All you have to do is attack the bases and you take the United States out. And now that you got Trump selling wolf tickets about taking out Venezuela, that was ridiculous, because now he's messed up, because Russia and China are supporting Venezuela. And all these smaller countries see that. And BRICS is a part of, Brazil is a part of BRICS. So they're checking everything out. So anyway, to repeat what I said before, a long story short, as America declines, Africa is rising. Food is cheaper in Africa. Food is getting cheaper and cheaper in Africa because they've disconnected from the United States. Food is getting higher and higher in the United States because we've disconnected from Africa and we've disconnected from South America with the tariff. And now they're bypassing us. So I'm starting to repeat things over and over again because I want people to understand this. But eventually I'm going to start a synagogue of spirituality. When, I don't know, but when God wants me to, when God prepares me, I'll start it. Like, subscribe, talk to you later.